Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Let's just make sure that that second goes off. There we go. My name is Becky and I'll be taking the 3D market commentary today. Today is August the 16th. It's a Monday, so hopefully you guys have had a great weekend ready for a trading week ahead. So what is a 3D market commentary? Essentially what we do is we look at 5 major markets and look at where the probabilities lie on 3 major elements. So we'll look at that in a second. We just need to first cover the disclaimers. Of course, important that you guys read those. So if they're not on the screen for long enough, of course, you can come back to this later and read it. Or if you're watching recorded, if you want to pause it and read them, then of course, get that done as well. Important to know for legal reasons and also expectation reasons. Now, my email address is on there, which is becky@tradictive.com. There's also support@tradictive.com, which is what we see here. But you can also go to a link, which I'll just bring up for you now. A link of this one, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. And here what you can do is you can get a free Trade with UFOs membership at the top, and then you can come down and ask questions here in this public space. It's great if you do that because it means we can answer the questions in this public space as well. So it means other people can learn from the questions and answers. You might see questions down here that you have and that somebody else has already answered, somebody else has already got the answer, and so you can come and learn from that. Or it might be that you're doing somebody else that favour for putting that question there yourself. So that's tradewithufos.com/Becky to do that. Now let's bring up the news flash, the 3D market commentary with the relevant market data, of course. So our 3D approach is 3D because we look at 3 major elements. Now the first one we're looking at is market climate. So for each of these markets, where do we have probabilities? Essentially, that's what we're looking at. Do we have probability upwards? Do we have probability downwards? Or do we have probability nowhere? And therefore, do we buy? Do we sell? Or do we do nothing? We use an app to help us with this. We try and use, as it says here, we use statistical elements to help you remain objective and realistic when you're trading or investing or hedging. So we're using technology to help give us the answers to this. So this app here is called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can use it on. And with this app, you can use it to help you figure out where the probabilities lie and therefore what you're more likely to be doing. So if we have, ignore the lines for now, if we have a thick blue dot, that tells us we have probability upwards, meaning we should probably look to buy. If we had a thick red dot, that tells us probability downwards, therefore we should probably look to sell. If we had a thin dot of either colour, like one of these, doesn't matter the colour, if it's a thin dot, that tells us not enough probabilities either way, so we do nothing. So it becomes a very easy answer to that question, and it doesn't take very long to figure it out, because it's just, is it a thick blue, thick red, or thin? And it gives us the answer to it. Then what we want to know is when we buy and sell, when we buy, where are we going to buy? When we sell, where are we going to sell? So where exactly are we going to do that? What prices are we going to buy and sell at? So we use what's called UFOs, unfilled orders. Essentially, we want to know where are the buyers and where are the sellers. Because if we're buying, then the only way price can go up is if there are more buyers than sellers. So we want to buy where there's lots of other buyers because it's much more likely to push price up. If we're selling, the only way price can go down is if there's more sellers than buyers. So we want to know where the sellers are so we can sell with them and price falls from there. So we use an app again, it's called AutoUFOs. This is a paid for app. It depends on which platform you use as to how much it is. This AutoUFO app shows us where our green UFOs are, that's where buy orders are. Where our red UFOs are, that's where our sell orders are. And it also tells us on the right hand side, on the pricing here, what those numbers are. So we know exactly where to buy and where to sell because it shows us exactly where buyers and sellers are. So that's helpful. And then we want to look at market volatility, which is how quickly can we expect these markets to move based on different time periods. So how quickly is it going to move within a day, a week, a month? So we'll look at that as well per market. Now, the first market to look at is the S&P 500, which is the US stock market basically. And we're looking at the ES. We're looking at the futures contracts for these markets. Which again just kind of gives us a representation of it. So we are essentially looking at a representation of US stocks right now. Now we're looking at a daily chart per each market. Of course, different things happen on different time frames. This data and these sort of conclusions are from daily charts that we're looking at here. So with the S&P 500, we have a confirmed upwards climate, a thick blue dot there, probability to the upside. Now usually this market would go up for 9 candles before it then changes direction, and we are on candle number 9. Now of course we can go past what's normal, we can fall short of what's normal. That's how we end up with a number in the middle to tell us what the average is. So it's not to say that because we're on 9 out of 9 that we're definitely going to change direction. It's just to say that anything that goes past here, we start to lose probability, right? The further it goes past what's normal, the less likely it is to keep doing that. So just bear that in mind, but still probability upwards. We also have UFOs here between 44.43.25 to 43.71.50. That's where we have the closest stack of buy orders. So we've got buying beneath us in the context of a climate that's already up. Overall probability upwards here on the S&P. Now we would expect the S&P to move up or down in 1 year, 16.88%, which means in a day it's up or down of 47.35 points. In a week, 104.23 points up or down. And in a month, 216.96 points up or down. So that's the S&P. Now let's move on to the next market, which is crude oil. In the meantime, it says here about looking to educate yourself. We do different courses in futures, forex, stocks, backtesting, trading plan, psychology. So you can take any one of those courses if you think they'd be helpful. Now, most of them come with 3 months complimentary access to the apps. Now, AutoClimate is already a free app on a lot of platforms you can use it on, but AutoUFOs is a paid-for app. Depending on the platform, depends on the price. Now, you can subscribe directly to the UFOs. You don't have to take a course. But if you subscribe directly to the AutoUFOs, the courses actually help you to use them, and if anything, it actually works out cheaper to do a course and get 3 months free of the AutoUFOs than it would be to simply subscribe for the UFOs. So it works out much better to do a course if that works for you. So with crude oil, we have a confirmed downwards climate. We have a thick red dot there that tells us probability is downwards. We can see that usually this market would go down for 7 candles, just rounding that up, and we're on candle number 2. So we have room to continue to move down based on what usually happens. What we also have here are sell orders, 71.96 to 69.19. That is where we have our closest stack of sell orders that have already, price came into them and it pushed them down. Price came into them and it pushed them down. Already working to push price down. That's why we want to know where they are. Because if we know that price is likely to move down from that area, that's where we sell. Same with the buy orders down here. These are at 60.77 to 58.73. And they worked, price came into them here and went off from there quite far. So if we know that price is likely to go up from that area, we want to know where that area is, which is why we use the apps to point them out to us. So overall probability down here, we've got sell orders closer to us pushing price down in the context of a downwards climate where we have probability downwards, and we've got a little way to go before buyers could step in and change this. So of course, when it comes to probability, doesn't mean it's definite, just means it's more likely. So we still manage our risk, we still might add variables in to give us extra probability. But overall here, probability to the downside with oil. Now with oil, we would expect in a year, movement up or down of 35.91%. So in a day, that's 1.53 points up or down. In a week, 3.37. And in a month, 7.02 points up or down. Okay, next market, which is going to be gold. Now it says here about coaching and support. We do a lot of coaching support for free. You can come and join our sessions on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. Most of them are, all of them are free. You can join those. Now we also have a closed coaching community where you get access to more of our time in a closed environment, and that's a small monthly fee. So you can check that out if you're interested in that. But otherwise, a lot of our coaching and support is free anyway online. So with gold, we have an unconfirmed climate, thin dot there, doesn't matter the color, just tells us unconfirmed, not enough probabilities either way. Now not surprising, because we have sell orders close by at 1835.9 to 1799.7, and we have buy orders close by at 1759.6 to 1742.6. So we've got sellers here and we've got buyers here, and they're kind of fighting with each other. So the climate doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know where the probabilities lie. Now, to me, I don't want to get involved in these fights. I would rather see which of them wins that battle and confirms the climate and then get on board then. Otherwise, it's kind of a guess and you lack probability. For us, it's all about getting a statistical advantage and using technology to help us find that statistical advantage. So for the time being on gold, not enough probabilities either way. Now, in terms of movement on gold, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 15.15%, which is 16.96 points up or down in a day, 37.34 points up or down in a week, and 77.73 points up or down in a month. Moving on to the next market, which is the US dollar. Now, the US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide daily, so be aware of it. It will affect most markets that you could possibly be trading. So we have an unconfirmed climate again. Thin dot, doesn't matter the colour, it's unconfirmed. Not enough probabilities either way. And again, not surprising, because we have sell orders here at 93.47 to 93.005. That already worked here to push price down. Price came back in and then it came down. But we have buy orders here at 92.36 to 90.64. So again, buyers and sellers very close to each other, which is why this climate is unconfirmed, doesn't quite know what it's doing. So again, we don't need to be trading something where we don't have clear probabilities. We can change time frame, we can change market. So same here for the US dollar. Now, in terms of volatility, it's less volatile than the others. We would expect a yearly movement up or down of 5.18%, which is 0.3 points in a day, 0.67 points in a week, up or down, and in a month, 1.38 points up or down. Moving on to the last market, which is backed Bitcoin. That says here about interested but have questions. You can self-schedule a clarification call, speak to one of our experts about the apps, the technology that we use, the courses, the coaching, whatever else that we do, and see whether or not any of these are going to help you, if at all. Could be many, could be one, could be none. So talk to one of our experts and figure that out. There's also other places you can go if you have technical questions, of course, as well. Now, with Bitcoin, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards. Now, we don't actually know with Bitcoin how long it usually goes up or down for, because it's not been around long enough. We don't have the data on a daily chart to say this is normal or this is not, because there's just not enough of it. So we're kind of in the dark there. What we do know is we're on candle number 18 to the upside, but we still do have a confirmed upwards climate. Now, we do have buy orders just beneath us at 46,402.5 to 43,872.5. Now, we also have sell orders right above us. In fact, we're within them right now. Those sell orders are 51,782.5 to 46,807.5. Now, we expect buy orders to push price up. We expect sell orders to push price down. So if we're literally, in this case, we've had others where they're close by. These are overlapping. We've got buy and sell orders almost exactly in the same place. Overall, if we had to call it, still overall probability upwards because the climate is favourable upwards. But for me, when you have buy and sell orders so close to each other and sell orders push down and buy orders push up, again, I would rather keep away from that. It's not enough probabilities clear in one direction for me to want to risk my money on that personally. So bear that in mind. If we had to call it, overall slight probability up there for Bitcoin. Now, in terms of volatility, it's more volatile than the rest, a lot more. We would expect in a year movement up or down of 124.66%. So in a day, that's up or down of 3,732.85. In a week, 8,217.49 up or down. And in a month, 17,106.06 up or down. So again, a lot more movement than the others. So bear that in mind, a bit more volatile. So that's all of our markets. That's the probabilities where they lie based on the climate, based on probabilities up or down or nowhere, based on UFOs, which are buy and sell orders that could change the direction of price, and also stats on volatility, how quickly we expect them to move. So that's each of our markets. Now, just to round off, we're going to look at our weekly economic calendar, which we get from FX Street, so you can go and get it from there as well. We filter by high impact news. Essentially, what we want to know is, are there scheduled reports that could come out and affect the markets and cause them to be more volatile, so that we can be aware of that. So for us today on Monday, we have news coming out on various markets. I think I'm right in saying it's Colombia, maybe, Indonesia and Australia. So if you trade in those markets or if you trade those currencies, be aware of it. Now, tomorrow, my colleague Boyan, for tomorrow and Wednesday, he'll be going through the news flash and the 3D market commentary then. I'll be back on Thursday, so I'll see you guys then. Any questions, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com, or go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. Get yourself a free membership. Then you can ask a question down here, and I will, of course, answer them there so everybody can learn from the same area. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great trading week, and